Section 4.10, Writing Quadratic Functions. So the first thing we need to do is make sure that we're familiar with the three forms of quadratic functions or equations that we've learned about and used in this chapter, and then also determine what information we're given for each form. So take a second, maybe pause the video, and write down the names of the three forms that we've used. And you should have come up with standard, vertex, and intercept. So what do each of those three look like? So take another second, pause the video, and write down what standard form of an equation looks like, what vertex is, and what intercept is. And standard is y equals ax squared plus bx plus c. Vertex, y equals a times x minus h quantity squared plus k. And intercept is y equals a times x minus p and x minus q. So then, given these three forms, what information is given? Well, let's start with two of the more obvious ones. In vertex form, we're obviously given the vertex, and that's always going to be h and k. And in intercept form, we're given the intercepts. And those are, make sure you realize that those are the x-intercepts, so they're going to be p0 and q0. Again, if you take what's inside the parentheses and set it equal to 0, that's why you're always getting the opposite of the sign that's actually in the parentheses. And now when we look at standard form, what information are we given? We're not given anything, really, so that's probably going to be the most difficult to write an equation in. But what do you notice about all three forms of these equations? What do they all have in common? They all have that a value, because the a value tells whether it's going to open up or down, and tells whether it's very wide or very narrow. So now let's look at a couple examples. To begin with, what information is given? Well, we can see that we're given the vertex. And so what form should we use? Well, we're probably going to use vertex form. And what do we need to find? So I want you to ponder these two questions. What do we need to find, and how can we possibly do that with the information given? And I'd like you to try to do these two problems in your note packet, actually all three of these problems. So we're going to use vertex form, fill in the information given, and determine what is left need to be found, and then see if you can find it. And so now the next example, if we look at this one, what information is given? Well, you'll notice that we're given the intercepts. So what form should we use? Probably intercept form. And so then again, once you plug in the information you're given, what do we need to find? And how can we do that with the information that's given? So again, I'd like you to try this, and we will go over it and complete them for sure in class tomorrow. And finally, write a quadratic in standard form for the parabola that passes through three random points. So we're told that we need to write it in standard form. So standard form is y equals ax squared plus bx plus c. And so what do we need? Well, we need our a, b, and c. If we need to find the value of three variables, how many equations do we need? Well, you'll recall how many equations? You'll recall from chapter 3 that if we need to find three variables, then we're going to need three equations. So again, see if you can come up with three equations that we can solve to find a, b, and c. And again, we will go over this in class, but I would like you to give it an attempt, and I'm going to see who can come up with these answers. And who knows, maybe there will be some extra credit involved for people that actually give it a shot and try to come up with these answers. In any case, we'll go over these in class, and please remember to go back and do the notes check, and we'll see you tomorrow. And how about this? This is a really short video, less than 4.5 minutes.